In this session, we're going to be talking about custom permission. And as we know, permission set and profile settings include built-in access setting for many entities like objects, fields, tabs, and Visualforce pages. However, permission sets and profiles do not include access for some custom processes and apps. So what we're basically saying is that permission sets and profiles basically give us access to objects, for example, right? But we can't use permission sets and profiles to control if or to manage or to verify if users have access to custom process or apps. For example, imagine we have an app which is the time off manager. Every time employees request time off, this app manages that. And users might need to submit time off request. Let's say they are not coming to work tomorrow or in 2 weeks, they'll have to submit that request in this app. And the scenario is only a small set of users approves time off requests. So when requests like this come in, we have to make sure in Salesforce only a small group of users can approve those requests. And how do we identify those small groups of users? The easier way to manage this type of request is, or control is, to use custom permissions. Okay, we can quickly check in Salesforce if the user has that permission, and if they don't, then they won't be able to approve the time off requests. Another use case is validation rules. We can use custom permissions to bypass or apply validation rules to a specific group of users. To demo custom permissions, so here is the steps that we have to include in order to implement this. We have to first create custom permissions. Okay, custom permissions cannot be directly assigned to users. Once we create them, they have to be either given to the users via the user's profile, or we can include this custom permission inside a permission set and then assign that permission set to our users. Okay, so in this scenario, what I have is we have a validation rule, okay, which says prevent users from changing the case origin field after the case has been created. This rule should not be applied to users with bypass validation rules custom permission. And after we create this custom permission and assign that to the user, either via profile or permission set, then this permission, this validation rule will do that job. Okay, so this is a simple validation rule. And where else it can be helpful is, for example, imagine we have such a big validation rule that checks if users have sysadmin profile, VP of sales profile, VP of customer support profile, and etc. And this list can keep growing. So if you are required to include exceptions for this many profiles, it can be very hard to manage. Sometimes we can miss one profile and that can mess things up. Okay, and we can end up producing bugs in our Salesforce org. Instead, what we can do is, for example, if we create that custom permission and assign it to all of these profiles one by one, and then basically after that, what we will be doing is we will be basically checking if that user has that custom permission or not. So in this validation rule, we're saying if the annual revenue is less than the prior annual revenue amount, and if the user's profile is not sysadmin, if the user's profile is not VP of sales, if the user's profile is not VP of customer support, VP of marketing, VP of HR, then throw a custom error. So block any user who does not have this profile from reducing the annual revenue amount. Okay, but these users can reduce that amount, but any user besides this cannot reduce that amount. Instead of listing this profiles like this, what we can do is we can just grab this line from here, okay, and replace all of these lines with that one line. And it makes our validation rules very easy to maintain and manage. So we will just check if the user has that permission or not. So we have another use case which we're going to implement. This one says prevent users from changing the case origin field after the case has been created. And this is the validation rule we're going to apply. And this validation rule shouldn't apply to users with this bypass validation custom permission. So what we need to do first we need to create this custom permission. Okay, that's what we're going to do now. So let me copy this name and I'll go to my org from the home tab, quick find, type custom permission, custom permissions, then click on this link and then create a new one, give it a name. Description is going to be this permission will allow users to bypass validation rules, for example. We can apply this to bypass anything or to create other exceptions, but in this scenario, we're just keeping it simple, saying that this is going to be used to bypass validation rules. And we're going to click Save. Next, what I will do is, I said that, remember, if you remember, custom permissions, this is the custom permission that we have just created. And as you can see, there's no manage assignment or assign to users type of button here. We don't have that button here. What we have to do is we have to assign this custom permission to the user's profile or assign it to a permission set and then assign that permission set to our user. Okay, so first what I will do is I will go ahead and assign it to the user's profile. And then I'll also show you how we can assign it to the permission set and then assign that permission set to the user. So what is my user's profile? I'll go to my user. And this is my test user. From there, I'll click on this profile. And scroll down a bit, you see this custom permissions option. Click on this link. And we have to click on edit button. And then from there, we see two custom permissions. This is the one I need. I'm going to include that here and save. All right. And what I can do is I can also include that permission into this system admin profile. So that was for the test users profile, standard, custom standard user. I can also include that into this sysadmins profile, okay? So I'm gonna click here. Navigating to the profile, again, custom permissions. And I will include that into the system admin profile as well. Click Save. And now what happens is my profile has this access. And what I can do is, for example, if we go to this permission set, okay, let's create this validation rule. No, sorry, I meant to say validation rule, not permission set. I'm going to go to object manager and case object, and then validation rules. We're going to create a new one. Let me copy paste that validation rule. Okay. And the rule is going to be case origin field. Let me copy this part. That's going to be my description. Case origin cannot be changed. Okay. And then error message, that's going to be my error message. All right, so what I'm saying in this validation rule is that if the case origin is changed, and if the user does not have that custom permission, then throw an error. So if I don't have this was already copy pasted here, but if I want to find the custom permissions in my org and include them, what I need to do is I have to go insert field and then permission, and then select the custom permissions. All the custom permissions you have will be listed here, and then click on insert. Okay. So if the case origin is changed, and if the user does not have this custom permission, then error will be thrown. So I'm saving this. Then we will navigate to case record, and I'll try to change the origin of case record. All right, so let me go to cases, for example, open any case, and then I will change the origin from phone to email and save. This is another validation rule. It says a reason, type, subject, or description cannot be blank. Reason, let me populate these fields. All right, that's a different validation rule. Okay, so what happened is I was successfully able to change the case origin. All right, now I can click here and change it to web, for example, without any issue. Why is that? That's because me as a system admin, I have the system admin profile, and inside that profile, I have that custom permission. Now, what if I go to that, to my profile, to the sysadmin profile, and then remove that permission? What do you think will happen after that? Then after, if I remove that permission, custom permission from my profile, then I will not be able to change the case origin. So I'm navigating to sysadmin profile. Let's go to the custom permissions. And let's click on edit. And let's go ahead and remove this and save. Then I'll go back to the same case record. Okay, now this profile has only one custom permission. That's a different custom permission. Okay, it is not the one that I'm checking in that validation rule. In the validation rule, I'm specifically checking if the user has this custom permission. Okay, so now I'm going back to case record, And then I'll try to change the case origin to phone, click save. Even though I have the sysadmin profile, I'm not able to change the case origin because I don't have that permission. And that is how we create the permission, custom permission, assign it via the profile. Now, in this scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a permission set and then include this custom permission inside that permission set. Okay, so we'll go to, let's go to permission set. Okay, I can name my permission. I can give it any name basically to my permission set, but to be consistent, I'm going to give it the same name, bypass validation rule. Okay, and then click save. So inside this permission set, I will now include, you see the permission set has been created. This permission set and the custom permission, they have the same names. Don't allow that to confuse you. Now, what I will need to do is inside this permission set, I will include the custom permission. Scroll down, click on custom permission, and then click on edit, and then include that custom permission. You said this is our custom permission, and this is our permission set. Include that, click save. Then I will assign this custom permission set. So remember, the permission set can be assigned to a user, but custom permissions cannot be. So that's why we're including this custom permission inside this permission set. And once this permission set is assigned to the user, it will also be automatically assigned this permission. Manage assignment. While we're on this permission set, click on manage assignment, and then we'll go ahead and assign it to our user. So in this scenario, I'm going to be assigning it to myself, which is the admin user, and click next and assign, click done. Now, even though my profile does not have that custom permission assigned to it, I still have that permission because of this permission set. I'm going to go back to my case record, and then I'll try to change this case origin from web to email and save. I'm able to successfully save this. Why is that? That is because I have that permission set assigned to me, and with that permission set, I get this custom permission assigned to me automatically. And therefore, this validation rule did not get applied to me because of that assignment. Now, if I go to the test user profile, the test user, for example, this is my test user page. If I go to cases, and as a test user, I'm going to change the case origin and save. Our test user is able to change the case origin as well. That is because this test user's profile, which is the custom standard user profile, that profile still has that access. Okay. We have two scenarios here. Our test user is able to change the case origin because the test user's profile has this permission. And me, on the other side, is able to change the case origin because even though my profile doesn't have that permission, but I have that permission via that permission set that was created and assigned to me. That's how custom permissions work, and this is one great use case. And there are a lot of other use cases in Salesforce as well, so which we'll explore later on.